Crash Course Live is presented by Smash It Demolition Derbies and the 2016 Bash for Cash. Demo Derby Masters. Winter Slam 2016. Ultimate Derby and Blizzard Bash and Capital City Carnage. Scioppa Racing and ScioppaRacing.com. Reckless Abandon Derby Apparel at RecklessAbandonGear.com. And Derby Inc. Magazine. Live it, breathe it, be it, Derby Inc. This is the Crash Course Demolition Derby podcast, recorded live at the FingerLakes1.com studios in downtown Seneca Falls, New York. And now your host, Chris Marquardt.
Tired? That's awesome.
It is a good shot, isn't it?
$100 carburetor.
Yep.
Cringe.
Sits right on top of it like it was nothing.
Yeah.
Yep. Episode number 139 on deck. We've got Andy Wolfanger and Kenny Swingle joining us here in studio. Ben Host also joining us here. Brian Tompkins. He's also joining us here. Way to get the phone down, Brian. Good job.
What's up? Josh couldn't be here. He said something about you didn't make the payment on the chopper for this week, so
right.
He wasn't going to be able to make it up.
Josh and I are not speaking right now, and I don't anticipate speaking to him again anytime soon. Mostly because he's not here.
You just had everybody listening real hard after that one.
I'm going to wait and see how long it takes for Josh to message me on that one. But
I think he might have had a ball game or something today, so he might be busy.
He listed off about 35 things, and I was exhausted just listening to the list of stuff that he was going to try to accomplish.
I did see that almost everything's for sale again, though.
Yeah, he. I talked with him about that, and I don't. He's not selling out. He said that he wants to, as we've joked about so many different times, is he wants to focus on the bigger shows. He wants to stop worrying about county fair stuff, and everything that he's got at home is stuff that won't make it on that next level. So he's going to sell it off and get all new, just like a couple of people kind of guesstimated when they were looking at the posts. A couple things from over the week. Mike Matheson had a birthday. Cliff Donnelly, his birthday's today. George Hejduk, he had a post. I'm not exactly sure what's going on with him, but thoughts out with him. I guess he's got some stuff going on with his family. Results from over the weekend. Tom Taylor Sr. Come away with the win at the Northeast Championship, the Woodbooger Show in Brockton, Massachusetts. 40 cars started a feature for that. Tommy Woodbury, he finished 6th or 7th. Duncan Cram was right up in the mix of that, too. They did not win. Team Vermont did not win the team derby either. So that was a big talking point for the course.
Talk there just got flushed down the drain.
Yeah.
There you go.
And but they took it. They made junk. I don't know if you saw any pictures of, but everything was twisted. I did reach out to Tom Taylor. He said that he's been on vacation, obviously getting 9 cars ready for the course of the week up there. So he wasn't going to be able to break away from work in order to come on the show. I think we'll be catching up with him next week. We are going to be talking a little bit later on with Jeremy Hejduk about Trumbull County. So that'll be neat. And I know you were talking earlier, Afton had the Derby over the weekend. Brett won in Owego. Brookfield, the Madison County Fair was over the weekend. I did not yet come across any results, but
I think Greedy won that. I think that's what I read.
It's a safe assumption.
Probably with the same car he took to Morris, and they told him he couldn't run.
Well, that stuff happens.
So, yeah, it might very well could be the same car that he's won the last couple times with.
Could be.
I doubt it.
You thinking of Chad?
No, I'm thinking of Caitlin, I believe. Isn't
That car's junk.
It's wasted now.
This was a fresh one.
What I did come across was Dan Bolton got his 2007 Dodge Ram all done to bring to Caledonia.
With a 440 in it.
Yeah.
I seen the picture.
Does he have his $5,000 paint job on it now?
Not yet.
No.
I'm sure it'll be there by the time he gets there, but it was, when he was hot lapping it was just plain white, which I can't believe he let that go out on air like that, but.
Yeah. Well, he always lets his daughter pick
hang
up
on.
the paint scheme.
Hang on. It was white, but that was surgical white. It didn't have a drop of mud on it. So I was surprised he was hot lapping with it.
Well,
the only bit of color that was on it was the for sale sign hanging off the hood. Ben, what were you saying?
Yeah, actually he did. He said he's going to put it for sale when he gets to the track and it goes to the highest bidder.
Is that the one you're going to drive over there?
I'm supposed to be doing your job over there, I guess.
We did the walkthrough last week.
I missed it,
So
I'll
everything's-
be real good at that.
oh no, we have full faith in you. I have some video. Decker has some video. What's his name that was down there with us? Jason. He's
All you gotta do is put idiot buttons on there, and I'll push the right button, and then just.
we'll be golden.
All you got to do is worry about check marks.
Chris color coded, so we're good.
A little bit. Some of that.
I'm pretty sure Chris is going to start drinking tomorrow night to prepare for us doing the show without him with his equipment.
The only thing
I'm completely confident.
As Utah, and then we'll be good to go.
Yeah. I don't know if we do. We want that? Do we really?
Yeah, we do.
I want cars to come over them blocks and hit that tower.
I was on that corner when a car came over it, filming from the tower, and then I was on that corner when a car came over it. When I was on that corner, and then we were back out there for the last chance to smash, and I was announcing, and a car went right past the kid that was running the camera, and he had a bag of Fritos and a Pepsi with his back turned this way, and the car went behind him. He never even knew that Matt Gaskin went by him, and it looked like the Dukes of Hazzard. I mean, the nose was up in the air. He landed on the back tires. It was awesome.
Mm-hmm. Well, hopefully we got that all fixed.
Yeah, all the walls are nice and fixed now.
So it's not as easy anymore.
I'm here to tell you that I think the truck heat is going to be pretty nasty. I know a crew of the guys that are coming, and I think that is going to be just an insane heat.
Show.
Well, I'm excited about it.
I think that's going to be insane.
From what I'm hearing and getting some questions, I'm like, that's going to be the show.
Well, that new Dodge, the new hydrofoam frames are nasty. The only other better one you could get is in a newer Super Duty. That's the only better truck frame you could get.
So this rolling start like they do in Utah, if you explain to me, we might be able to do that.
It's real easy.
It's easy. As they drive out on the track, they just keep going in circles until you get
circle,
them all out there.
When they say go, when you
everybody goes.
Count it down. When they say go, all hell
it's odd.
breaks loose.
Okay, that's what we're gonna do.
It's in a circle. Just basically rolling start. The only thing they're not going is too wide. It's just nose to tail in a circle, and let them do 2 or 3 laps, and after that, throw the green.
Okay, we just made it official. That's what we're doing for the junk run.
The track is big enough too.
Yeah, that's. I mean, if depending on amount of cars, the size of track. I mean, it looks
it's official. That's what the junk run's going to do.
The junk run.
There you go. Hear that, Gully? Get ready.
That might be one of the
Utah style. As soon as they say go, you just cut across wide open to get somebody.
You'll definitely have somebody on their lid.
Yeah. Oh yeah. Yeah. There's no question that somebody's going to be.
The crowd will like it.
Oh yeah.
For sure.
I don't know if you understand what you just signed up for, guys.
Yeah, that was it. That'll be a good.
You've never done a rolling start like that, have you, Andy?
No,
I've never seen one in New York myself. I think the only one I saw was when we were in Utah.
I've seen 3 rolling starts in New York. All of them involve Jeremy Gully, but it's not the sense that you're thinking. He just left on 5.
I was going to say, I've seen guys leave at 4s and 6s and 8s and stuff like that, but as the whole field going at once,
when
I've
the green
never
flag
seen that.
dropped, somebody was already getting hit at the other end of the track.
Yeah, see that.
that's kind of bad.
Nah, that's
Get your point right across. No use of wondering. Point across.
so. How's response been overall? I know the raffle car's done. Cadillac is all finished up. Near Drive Shaft and that. Brian Nearett signing on as a sponsor. Catskill stuff on the inside. Catskill signing on as a sponsor. Rick Hansen custom painting. Buell Built trophies. R&R engine and transmission. Getting together to put that out there. How's that response been? And have you decided if you are or are not going to be selling additional tickets? Because anybody that comes there that's of age, just by passing through the gate, grandstand or pits, they are automatically entered. No money on the table. They're automatically in the hunt for the cleanest Cadillac that might ever go into the feature in Caledonia.
Yeah, and we have decided we will be selling additional tickets. We haven't came up with a price on, but we're not going to kill anybody on, of course. The whole aspect of it all was to bring something new to the show and just give a little something for the people that couldn't afford to bring a car. Just get more people involved and just try something a little different. I tell you, it's whoever wins it, that's a good car. It's well built and it's built to the rules. Anybody's free to look at it, but it's not. It was not halfway done. It's built just like Andy or I would build a car for ourselves to run for a show.
It's built to the rules. You just
Just I was gonna say, it's
Yeah,
built to the
you-
rules.
you-
It's not
you-
built to
you
what you guys would
you
run. I mean,
contradicted
come on.
I follow
yourself
the
for
rules. I
that.
don't know about Kenny.
Yeah. That's why when we're
I don't know about
building it,
either one of you.
that's why when we're building it, and I see him doing something, I go, did you read the rules? Why? What Because you can't put that much on there.
No, we're just building it like we normally build them. We'll cut it when we get there.
That's what I told him. I said, we'll just cut when we get there.
Yeah. Oh, shit.
Can you Ohio style
You
raffle
know my
car?
flag. I got to cut the raffle car. But anyways, it really is a good thing. And then Andy's put a lot of time into it. I've put a little bit of time, but Andy's put most of the majority of the time, and he really made the raffle car happen for the show. In general, I just
Right. My intention was to hopefully bring some people out that normally wouldn't come to a Caledonia to come watch the Derby to come,
Well, even like Kenny said, I mean, even a lot of other drivers either A, didn't have time to put a car together, or B, just didn't have the stuff to put a car together,
or it's too far, and they're
or
gonna come
C,
on.
too far to
Yeah.
drag a car. They're going to come. I mean,
Yeah.
they're lighting up right now, saying they're
check
going
for
to sell
that.
additional tickets. They're
Yep.
going to shell it out there. I mean, look at what was it, one of the Bash for Cash, one of the guys from Buffalo Way,
Yeah.
won the raffle car there.
Osmond.
Osmond,
You know,
Yeah.
No, this year too.
Oh, this year?
This year too.
This
I
year,
didn't know
another
that
really?
guy.
too.
Ernst
From
won.
Dunkirk?
Yeah.
Ernst won, and Sam Smith won one.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Oh, I didn't know that.
Yeah,
Yep.
yeah, because
I didn't even hear
That's
the announcement.
that's what I was saying. I know those guys. They're from up near Buffalo Way.
So
And I
that's
thought
what-
must be you thought I was talking about Remington standing behind us because you kept looking at Eric, and I was saying that's not the guy that won it.
Oh,
that's what I'm getting
yeah.
at. I mean, that's somebody.
And they got to keep the car again.
Yeah.
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 They
You
did
know,
that.
we're a ways from that level, but that's something that Andy and I had talked
That's
about.
something that's
that
coming.
Yeah.
you will be able to keep. Our goal is to get there where you will be
Man.
able to keep that car.
If we get some good sponsors for the
No.
parts,
Yeah.
If the show builds and does, that's one of our
we
goals.
can get some money back out of the shell, and maybe for a time, then the person gets to keep it.
Right.
Everything
Right.
that's in it.
No need to make
But
money.
it's definitely. I mean, it's definitely going to be a lethal car. I
Oh,
mean, them guys
Let's-
are cringing now. Whenever somebody sees a raffle car for a feature, it's the drivers cringe because they're like, man, that's a fresh car
Oh, yeah.
going into the feature, and holy shit, I hope somebody that doesn't know what they're doing wins it. Because that's the last thing they want is a Andy to win it, or Kenny to win it, or a Johnny Rutherford to win it, or a
Yeah,
Zizzleman to
something
win
like
it,
that.
or
Yeah.
somebody that's just
Anybody that's ran
Totally-
knows anything about.
Well, I mean,
an experienced driver.
Look
Yeah.
at the guys that are coming in the junk run class. I mean, imagine if Dan Bolton won that thing and took it to the feature.
Dan's messaging me right now.
I
He
think it
said
would
that
probably be over the wall.
he has all intentions of going for Bash for Cash Redemption in Caledonia.
Nice.
That's
Then he needs to nose out, like I told him in Bash for Cash.
hang on. Don't be a girl and nose out. There we go.
Okay.
Well, it doesn't matter because they're doing the rolling start.
Yeah.
I'm talking if he even wins the raffle.
Oh.
Raffle car.
Oh, the
goes
raffle
up.
car, yeah.
When parentheses when you win the raffle.
We'll have to pull out
car.
the Chevy engine and put a Mopar in for him.
There
Oh,
you
if it's 400 probably in there.
440.
440's
it.
Yeah.
He pulled the Hemi out, put a 440
Yeah, I
in the
know.
truck.
Yeah, now he wants to fit the Hemi into a Mopar car to run in the Derby. He said him and Gully have been talking to a guy that put one in a street rod, and they know how
They
to
got
do
a
it. so-
conversion. Because they were talking
Yeah,
to guys.
at Bash, yeah. But yeah, imagine Josh Decker in that car. Man,
No.
he could sandbag for
I know.
the whole thing.
He would definitely be on the wall.
You could put the headlights back in it.
But in general, after the ref car, just to show the response itself, I've got my phone rings 3-4 times, 5 times, text messages all day for rules. So for me, knowing it in the past, that's always a good sign that the show's gonna.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, the weather looks like it's going to hold
The
out.
weather looks like
Oh, yeah.
extended forecast looks beautiful.
Yep.
Andy and I, and the fair president, basically ripped that whole pit apart, the Derby pit, and we straightened all the walls and graded the
days.
track and York raked the track, and then we hand raked the whole thing, and the walls are painted and they're all straight. It's a total different track. It's a beautiful, beautiful pit. I'd love to run on it. I've run there and won 2 or 3 times, and Andy's run there and won, and I've never seen the track. Even the fair president says that track's never looked that good.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So I'm excited to see that, and I'm excited for the drivers that have run there to see it and say, wow.
Yeah, Josh was showing us pictures last week, and it is definitely. I mean, you guys have done a
awesome.
great job. It looks very, very
And then
nice.
the new guys that say that it's a nice track too, and it's big, and there's plenty of room. You ain't got to worry about anybody that's new to the show that there's no room to move around.
Man,
And
don't get caught.
We
the
actually-
other thing is,
We actually talked about making it smaller for the heats, but depending.
but then, and the other thing is, if you're new there, don't get caught just sleeping because
you're gonna get
somebody will send you.
You know.
So I like to hear.
I'm excited about that crow's nest thing. Getting up there again. That was a great spot.
Well, not that you
Bring me
personally
a
are going to
chair, I
be
can
up
sit
there,
on
but
the
one of
roof.
us.
I'm not going to be there. No, I'm not going to be there. You guys, it's going to be fine. I'm not even worried.
Give me a lift and I'll sit on the roof of the tower.
Nope. Not
We'll get you
interested
up
in that.
I can get up there.
I'm sure you could, but you're not gonna.
You're not gonna be there, so you can't tell
I
me
never
no.
know the difference.
Yeah.
I was.
So you saw
You'll
the
be
angle
like,
of the
damn,
camera.
that's a strange ass angle. Where's that coming from?
So the question is when you're going to the bathroom every 10 or 15 minutes, do you think Melissa's going to, is she going to think you're sick? Or, when you're going in to watch us as the video is going on, what?
Well, I'll be watching all the people from the grandstands with Facebook live streams.
Oh, well, whatever. Yeah, they don't want to have the great commentary that they'll catch.
I think it's
on
going to
live
be
stream.
good. It's going to be real good. I'm pretty comfortable with it. Jason's got a real good handle on things.
Mm-hmm.
He looked at the system that we have and he goes, "This is way easier than anything that I've done with the basketball." Like, that's great to hear.
Oh, I know exactly what you're talking about now.
Yeah. Yep.
So I think we're gonna be in good shape. I haven't heard it. Ron McClung posted a picture. Go on.
He, matter of fact, he texted and said, "Hey, I'll see you Saturday." And I said, "Yep, you'll see me."
Yes.
And he said, "Are you running?" And I kind of explained to him what was going on. And I said, "What are you bringing?" He goes, "I'm not sure. I got a couple cars ready." He goes, "It doesn't matter what I bring. It's going to be junk." And I was like, "That's what I like to hear, Ronnie." So
Yes.
He
Yes.
did text me.
we were talking back and forth for a little while. And goes, "I got to go out to the shop." He said, "I'll see you Saturday." I said, "All right, buddy, see you Saturday." So
Yeah, he'll be pulling in with Rick probably.
Oh,
Rick
Rick
told me he
isn't
wasn't
coming.
running. Yeah,
No, he told me
said
he
he's still
he said he's
catching up
going to
on
miss it
business.
this year.
Yeah, still catch up on business. He said. I know they just here a couple weeks ago they made a trip down North Carolina, I think, to get more truck parts.
You said Ron did contact you?
Ron had contacted me, so that's what I just asked, and I seen it said something Ontario when he messaged me, and I said,
Ron is the most unassuming lunatic you've ever met.
Oh,
He
yeah.
doesn't look crazy at all,
No.
but you put him behind a wheel and just eyes rolling back of
he's
his
a
head.
full-size guy.
Yeah. Yep.
I think back from the Cuba days, some of them border war guys may come too for a compact.
That'd be
Awesome.
Cool.
Yeah, there's a guy from Canada, right?
Yeah, like Greg Miller and stuff. I had talked to him.
Greg
he
Miller.
told me that up there in Canada, where he is, anyways, July is slow on derbies up in there
Yeah.
right now. So he.
Well, that's because there's still snow on the ground in most of Canada right now. So.
So we may see some of them guys, which would be great. Really, Caledonia is not too far for the guys coming from Canada.
No, it's not bad.
No,
Right
pretty
there.
easy shot.
So
Come across 90 and then just drop down 390 and you're there.
Oh yeah.
They're
Couple
quick.
hours.
We had to play
That's
against Canadians over the weekend. Pain in the ass.
I didn't realize how many games you guys played in the weekend. Todd and I were talking.
Yeah,
7 games, I think he said this weekend.
6 games. They played 2 games Saturday and played 4 yesterday.
That is
The
insane.
championship game. Yeah, they were tired.
Oh
Are they
yeah,
done
I
yet?
would guess so.
are they done yet?
Are they done?
Your boys done with that? Or is they talking about
This
basketball?
this past weekend in Pittsburgh was supposed to be the last tournament, and then they got told by the coach that he has them run it. They have a tournament this weekend at Chiropractic College right down the road.
Yeah.
It's only one day, but they did good. I mean, there was college scouts there.
Really? That's awesome.
I mean, we're playing against triple, quadruple A, triple A
Teams.
private school. Yeah,
That's
yeah.
awesome.
And they
Good.
held their own.
Good.
Yeah, he's getting. How old is he now?
16,
Wow.
driving, almost 6'2". Not
mean-
done growing yet.
Back when we were running, he was what, probably
Yeah, oh yeah.
10 or 11.
Yeah, he's Sydney's age.
Yeah.
He has no desire to get in a car.
No, I burned him out. I think.
I
I think that's exactly what it was. He just has no.
mentioned
interest in
that to
it.
anybody. That kid never had a desire to get in the car. Ben, I never got him in a car.
Chris, you're smiling over there. What's going on, buddy?
I'm keeping up with everything. We had Mike Smith, who's a radio personality from here in Seneca Falls, just said if we ever needed a jam, we got in a jam. He knows a video guy, camera operator.
Cool.
And he said he lives in Geneva, real good dude, knows computers and stuff. So if we ever got in a pinch, which I was surprised Mike Smith was listening to us here.
Very cool.
And
We have viewers everywhere, Chris.
I know.
It'll shock you.
The sky's the limit.
The service people looking for Candace is still looking for photos. Candace Joe at Ultimate Derby. Is Candace Joe or Candace? Candace at UltimateDerby.com.
Candace,
And service people in uniform, out of uniform, with your Derby cars, red, white, and blue cars, you name it, stuff that you've built. She's looking for more photos, and she still won't tell me exactly what it is. Send your pictures in. They want them for something. And she said it's not the national anthem. That's all she told me.
Whatever it is, it's going to be very cool.
It's going to be awesome.
They always do something awesome.
Are you going to write Caledonia Crash and Jam Festival and gasoline in the middle of the track and light it on fire like they did at Blizzard Bash?
Not this time.
It only takes $75 in gas.
Yeah, we could always write it on the wall so you could see it.
Yes.
Cool.
Do that in gasoline and then light it on fire.
Well, not in gasoline. But.
I would. But I'm good at poor decisions.
I've never seen you make one, Chris.
We could. I was thinking about putting, "Wish You Were Here, Chris" or something.
You could,
Like
if
that.
you want to.
So you
That'll be the only time that's ever happened in New York.
Yeah. No doubt.
He'll be on anxiety meds by the end of the weekend.
Uh-huh. Oh, he'll be on an anxiety bed, all right. With 3 olives and no ice.
I had a doctor tell me that I might be a candidate for anxiety medication.
Yeah.
That's hard to believe. I'm pretty sure I told you that on one of our last trips.
I'm
All
not-
you got to do is break them mute buttons so you can't mute the microphones, and it's instant.
It won't shut off. It won't shut off.
Absolutely.
But I know Caledonia, the South, is very excited to have you guys on board. Appreciate
I'm
it.
excited about it.
The
Everything
one
that's
show
going
I
on.
went there, I was a long time ago, but it was an awesome show. I mean, there was a lot of good cars, hard hitting. So I'm looking forward to it. My one time there
Yeah, you were
was
describing a show that I don't remember.
Last
Going
one I was
to.
there is the one I think Brian was talking about. I think you were there, and we pulled in after picking up cars from Michigan.
That would have been here.
That was the year that I ran out of gas. Got down to
Yes.
third and ran out of gas.
Yes.
Yeah. 2009.
Aaron Kasai was there running, I think.
yeah,
first-
that was I think it was the last time I was there.
It would have been the first, because they brought their Cuba car
It's
there
2009.
to run, right?
It's the year that I built my first house.
Yeah.
Same year we went to Ohio to turn
Yes.
clocks back.
Yeah.
It was fall.
So that would have been my
Fall show.
first fall show there, probably in that area.
Yeah. Actually, it's the same one that Dave Riley won the raffle car. We were just talking about that.
Yeah, he won the RAF car one show.
Oh.
Speak of the thing.
Mhm.
Well, we got pretty good odds with that.
I forgot about that
The
one.
raffle cars won.
We talked about that
a lot
once.
of
I forgot
times.
that guy did
Yeah.
that.
Jake Doyle won the raffle car.
Yeah.
With the raffle
Right.
car.
Yeah, Jake.
And-
we asked him if he could figure
Let's
out how to
point
shift
out
it.
Yeah.
that he only bought one ticket.
Yep.
Yeah.
Bought a
He only
$10
bought
ticket.
one ticket.
Jake's lucky like that.
He won 2 raffle cars over the course of like 4 weeks and
won with both
won the
of them.
features with both of them.
Yeah.
yeah,
He won
I
at
think he
Canada
paid-
and then he won there.
Did they pay $1,000? I think he
Yeah.
won $1,000 for a $10 ticket.
yeah. It's not bad.
Not a bad rate of return.
And the only thing that helped him is he wasn't familiar with GMs
Well,
and
that's-
shifting.
Yeah.
what
That's
slowed
one
him-
thing
that
about
slowed
this
him
raffle
down.
car. That's a good point you just brought up. To start the feature, you get $300. That's no different for the raffle car.
Yeah.
So they
Wow.
$10, they already got made
So
$300.
right away, spend $290 right there.
Yeah, you're up.
Yeah.
Right.
$300.
So the raffle car is no different than any other car. Where it goes in that feature, it's getting paid $300.
Now I gotta buy raffle tickets.
I might have to buy a raffle ticket or two.
So needless to
That'd
say,
look-
you
that'd
can get
look
some
pretty
cash.
fishy, though, if I
You're
won.
getting cash anyways.
It looked fishy, but if I won that car, I'd put on the show. I guarantee that.
That's true.
That would be a good time.
As long as you can figure out how to shift it.
Opposite of Mopar.
Okay. Already ready.
Already ready. It's probably got the lockout shifter, so you just go back and forth.
Oh, yeah.
Probably.
Yeah, it's from Ryan Ostrander there.
Who
And
put-
Chevys, you can just
Right.
hold them on the floor and shift because I heard you can't burn them up. So.
Nah, it won't hurt.
who mounted the steering wheel and the seat? You?
Yeah.
No, but it's set for a big guy.
Yeah. It can go either way.
But
Well,
it moves. It
I gotta
moves.
bring. I gotta
You
bring
can
boat
move it.
cushions.
You can move it.
All right. Okay.
But
So
if
then
you're-
move up.
But you're not going to have the seat bar like the advantage that the big guy's going to have, where he might break the seat.
I'll put a ratchet strap.
Yeah,
in
you'll
there.
have to ratchet strap it over. So bring a ratchet strap too.
How
You'll be
much
going
time do I get to work
Yeah,
on
we'll
it?
bring one.
You'll be going forward. You ain't gonna break it going backwards. The only
That's-
time you're gonna back up is put the bumper against the
Right.
wall and go.
Do I
So
get-
Brian,
Well,
if you win, you're all set because I sat the seat. We're a big guy. We're already against the dashboard.
So
Alright,
can
we're
you,
good,
can you
bud.
can you draw it like, before, like an hour before the feature? So
So you
I
get
can
your welder out?
Bring all my shit.
Oh boy.
We got accused that at Waterloo for the Pros versus Joes. You remember?
How wide's the cage inside to inside? I'll bring a piece of steel so I can just weld another one in there, so I
There you
can cut the other one.
Yeah.
That'd be a good time.
No, yeah, that'll be awesome. Like I said, whoever wins that is gonna have a lot of fun.
Andy, did you ever hear the story about how Ben borrowed a car and had to spend most of the Derby pulling his pants up?
No,
He didn't borrow it; it was given.
got a car for free. What?
And New Alex.
New Alex down there.
Well, that's what I watched.
Todd's car.
The wagon.
Yeah, it's Todd's a big guy,
And you
it
were
was-
trying to drive. Oh yeah, you had to drive.
I
And
had-
you kept sliding down the seat.
I had a cushion behind me, everything else, and I kept sliding down. Well, I finally got it figured out about 3 quarters way through. The steering wheel wasn't latching all the way, so every time I get taken off going across the track for a shot, I'd try to scooch myself up in the seat or the bounce or whatever, and I'd pull on the steering wheel, and the steering wheel come right out. And my biggest fear, everybody has a fear when they're out in a
Getting
derby
impaled
car.
on that.
My biggest fear and nightmare is that steering shaft.
Yeah.
Because I've watched people. Guys have gotten mad at me for shutting them off because their steering wheel, all it stirs the steering shaft and their steering wheel's off. One guy had a pair of vice grips on it trying to steer at one of our shows. And I'm like, no. You know, and here's this going through my mind. And that actually helped me too because it was slowing down because every time I'm putting the steering wheel back on. But, you know, that was, it was a lot of fun. And I told Todd and I got laughing about it. And Mark and I got laughing about it. But it's just.
Got a couple of questions coming in. How much is the entry fees off the top of your head? Dan Bolton wants to know how much money he needs to bring.
Just bring $1,000 with you, Dan.
It's not like he doesn't have it.
Just bring $1,000. Whatever you don't pay to enter, you can buy raffle car tickets.
And then Tommy Dowd, Jerry Dowd has a birthday today too. Tommy Dowd is wondering if he can inspect and still buy raffle car tickets.
Yeah, right. He knows the answer to that one.
Yeah.
No.
Yeah.
Sounds like it's
No.
fine, Tommy.
Oh,
They saved money on a car lift having Tommy inspect.
right.
And the nice thing is you know, Tommy knows all the cheating tricks, so he knows right where to look on them
Right.
GMs and stuff. So that's good.
Yeah.
It's good to hear the OG is going to be
Tommy's
there.
coming aboard to be an inspector for the show. Yep.
Cool. I was wondering if he'd be there. I was hoping to see him run because Tommy usually puts on a good show, but
Yes.
He's-
Tommy
he's-
usually puts on a good
I
show.
don't know. He probably doesn't. He probably got to take the glass off that brand new motor that he's got for an end table to put in the car.
you know he's going to be upset one of these times when that motor comes up missing, and all of a sudden I got a brand new guard that I'm running somewhere. He's going to be upset when that happens.
The entry for the junk run is 35. Don't hold me to it. I'm pretty sure. I believe it's 35 for the junk run, without looking in front of me.
It's 50 for Dan.
40
Bolton.
for the compacts and 50 for the full size.
Yeah.
It's just
Pretty
bring 50,
reasonable.
Dan.
Yeah, bring 50. be
Bring
safe.
50, Dan.
There's a shortage of pink duct tape, I think. That's the reason why he's not running. That's why he's going to help us out.
Right.
Sydney will hook him right up. She's got what is it? Leopard print or cheetah print, black and pink.
Yeah.
It's got to be pink.
Duct-
He
duct
refused to
tape.
put the sticks on this year because we don't have pink duct tape to put them on. So
Use
he's
pink paint.
There you go.
Wow.
We're going to give him a pink flag. You can flag with.
yeah. But that was the reason too that we didn't have to get a lift. I was thinking, man, I don't really want to buy a lift. Well, we'll just get Tommy to inspect. It's perfect.
That'll work.
All you need is a pothole.
Right. Well, first we had to figure out the bumper height because he could almost stand up
Yeah.
underneath it. Yeah.
Wow.
So,
It's getting rough.
Poor Tommy.
Ain't no different down Long Island. Down Long Island, Jimbo
What-
and then Bobby down there we used to go down and get cars for.
Yeah.
He's got a picture of Vicious. They call him Vicious Vinny. Got a picture of him standing inside an engine compartment of a Cadillac. Hood's off it. He's standing inside, and no shit, his chin is only about that high above the core sport.
Once again, all this talk is about July 16th coming up this Saturday, Livingston County Fairgrounds in Caledonia. It's the Caledonia Crash and Jam Festival. It's basically a full reboot on everything that the Livingston County Fair has been doing the last couple of years. A little bit different opportunities in terms of the payout, different date form. Caledonia Crash and Jam Festival is paying $1,100 to win, $350 for second, $200 to start the feature. That's from fifth on back, and the compacts. And full size $1,400 to win, $450 for second, $300 to start the feature from fifth on back. Junk runs $500 to win. Sounds like that's going to be the show of the night. More than $7,800 in prize money. Kenny's the guy to contact. Ken Swingle, 585-447-7939. The Cadillac raffle car is coming out. That's going to be awesome. Going right to the feature fresh. Near it, slider shafts on board with it. Catskill Fab and Performance on board with it. It's going to be an awesome time coming up this weekend. We'll have more with those guys here in just a minute. We're going to take a quick break, and we will be right back.
It's Truck Month at Layton Hills Chrysler Dodge Jeep Ram. You can get the best deals of the year on all of our Ram trucks in inventory. Plus, if you're a current or past customer at Layton Hills, we're offering you an additional $250 customer loyalty rebate. And if you live in northern Utah, we have an additional $250 Great Neighbor rebate too. So during Truck Month, we have a new 2016 Ram 1500 SLT Crew Cab. And after dealership discounts, customers customer cash and truck month rebate. It's yours for only $39,115. Hurry in and take advantage of these savings during Truck Month at Leeton Hills Chrysler Dodge Jeep Ram.
Erie County Fair coming up on August the 14th in Sandusky, Ohio. Corey McKillop's in charge of this one. New format. There's still a couple full-size team opens, entirely team-focused. With this one, it is always time and time again one of the wildest shows of the year. It's going to be streamed live on FigerLakes1.tv. You can get a hold of Corey McKillop for more details, 419-656-6163. That's the Erie County Fairgrounds in Sandusky, Ohio. August the 14th, 2016. Broome County Fair coming up here real soon as well, July the 27th. They've just landed a couple new sponsors. They brought in about an extra $700, $800 through the course of today. Justin Madden messaged me, said that they've got more sponsors lined up as well to try and bolster that a little bit. Most of this is going into getting Mad Dog awards and everything for a number of the different divisions. They've got this new chain and bang division. It's a stock event, 4s and 6 cylinders. Eddie Bella wrote the rules for it. 100% payback up to $1,000 to win. V8 modifieds are paying $1,500. Compact feature paying $1,000. Minivans and trucks are paying $500. 6:30 is the start time down there on the 27th. It's in Whitney Point. Wristband sales start at 2 o'clock on the midway. Grandstands open at 4 from 1 to 3. If you get there early, you want to check it out, there's a kiddie tractor pull from 1 to 3, free admission until 1 o'clock. There's no re-entry after 1 o'clock to the fair itself. Pay one price rides for $17 between 11 and 4. Just Madden 607-427-2375. And as I understand it, Robbie Brown is going to be one of the lead tech inspectors down there. So should be a good time down there. Looking forward to getting that one on the air as well. It's going to be a busy month. We're going to be working with Chautauqua County Fair coming up in the next couple of weeks, and just confirmed that they are going to patch all of the Crash Course feed through the Lake Erie Rumble 4 event coming up in September. So we will be serving as the trackside announcers for that. We'll have more on that as we get a little bit closer. Smash Demolition Derbies, they've got a very, very busy schedule coming up in the next couple of weeks. Boyd County Fair is the first one, July 13th. That's in Cattlesburg, Kentucky at 7:30. Smash It Class, street stocks, compacts, trucks, and more on the card there. July the 16th is the Madison County Fair. That's London, Ohio, 7 o'clock start. Mild Weld, Smash It, Mini, Street Stock, Power Wheels, you name it. There's probably something to find there at the London show. Again, that's 7 o'clock start there. The 23rd of July, Franklin County Fair in Hilliard, Ohio, 7 o'clock start. Smash It Class, Mild Weld, Mini Cars, Street Stock, Power Wheels. With the Smash It Class, I assume these are either Bash for Cash cars or cars that have already run at the other Smash It fairs, because they never really go away. They just kind of turn into 5-foot rule cars. Just burn more metal in. July the 14th is the Clark County Fair in Springfield, Ohio. 5 o'clock start there. Smash It Minis and Power Wheels. And the Union County Fair the same night in Marysville, Ohio. Mild Weld, Street Stocks, Compacts, and more on the card at the Union County Fair. East Coast Championship Team Show coming up September the 3rd, 2 o'clock start. Open only to the top 2 finishers from 2015 and 2016 at any show in the Northeast. Full-size and compact team divisions. It's capped at 14 teams per class. V8 class, $2,250 to win. Compact class, $1,500 to win. Teams are $3,000 to win. Junk Run, $500. Outlaw class, $500 minimum. Brett Relier for details, 607-327-2705. Mark Benjamin for rules questions, 607-215-2149. Kings of Old School 2016 East Coast Championship held at the Delaware County Fairgrounds in Walton, New York. Neat format there. Long, skinny track with covered grandstands on both sides. And wrapping things up in terms of places that we're going to be going early in October. Saturday, October the 4th, 4 o'clock start. It's the 2016 Hog Wild Fall Brawl. There is something for everybody there. 3 raffle cars being raffled off through the course of the day for the Pro Limiteds, the Wire Class, Super Stocks, Compacts, Youth Class, Trucks, Power Wheels, RCs. If you don't like derby stuff, you can check out the show cars, trucks, diesels, imports, rat rods, barbecue fest, live music. Adult admission is only $11. It's a steal for a day's worth of activities. Kids under 12 or 6. Supporting 3 charities, the Matheson College Fund, Fisher House Foundation, and the Children's Hospital of Pittsburgh. That's the Hog Wild Fall Brawl at the Stoneboro Fairgrounds in Stoneboro, Pennsylvania. On the topic of the RC stuff, if I can find it quick, I'm going to try to. They're trying to get some more stuff going here in October. We've got stuff in September. I wanted to try and have a fresh car left for Bash for Blizzard Bash, but I'll just cheat the hell out of one and I'll get through. It's fine. Yep. Just show up and cut it. On the top, no molds. Ben scares me when he starts talking about what those cars could be. Let's say I lost my spot. New chapter coming up. One Rock RC, Ryan Hartman in Lehighton, Pennsylvania, has been active with the RC stuff, and Ed Brewster making the announcement that they're going to be opening that new chapter there. and they're also going to be working on trying to change the rules a little bit and get rid of these full wedge cars because they just turning into battle bots now. Everything's just real low to the ground, and they just flip each other over and they roll over, and that's that. So there's some talk about changing some of the rules tied to that stuff so that we can get everything back on somewhat of a even playing field.
Going back to stock.
Yep, that's exactly right. You said it right there.
It only took them about 12 months to do that.
The wagons that they're running in Ohio were impressive. When they got the back of the RC cars to have the Ohio roll in them, that was pretty impressive.
HTRC is building their wagons now with the Ohio roll already built into it so that it acts like a scoop, and it's like the snowplow effect where the bottom gets under it and the low.
It's more impressive to see them actually build, to actually see them bend.
I'm not arguing.
There you go. Everything's cheated. Everything's related. Every rule that's in place now for full-size cars is going to be in RCs within a year.
Absolutely. Well, how many times has Chris had to cut his own shows? I mean, that's when one of the promoters shows up, that's
That's
not
a
good.
cheater.
He's a cheater.
Because I had Ben build my car.
Oh. Not an RC car.
But
On Facebook earlier this week, I made me think of it because you talked about the team show in October. Jeremy Gully is selling his spot in that RC.
oh, jeez.
The compact.
There we go.
We on now?
Yeah.
We good?
Yeah. Forgot about that.
Start over. Jeremy Gully was selling. He had a team spot for the compacts, and I believe he's still selling. I don't know if he sold it or not at the Kings of Old School show in the fall. So if anybody's looking for a spot, get a hold of Jeremy. Unless it's already gone, then sorry, Jeremy. I just got you bombarded with 6,000 calls you don't need. But what are you gonna do?
Jeremy's got time.
Jeremy's got time. He's only got 6 cars to build. And
6 cars.
did you probably didn't. Did you see the thing on Facebook yesterday where it showed him? He had a picture of an older Ford and an 80-something box Ford.
Yeah.
Walked right into a beautiful deal on that. The guy's like, oh, this price. And Jeremy's like, all right. And he goes, well, Jeremy said, I'm going to bring my 2-car. And the guy said, no. He said, you can't get in there 2-car. He said, bring 2 trailers. And then said, since you got to bring 2 trailers, I'll help you out on the price some more. So Jeremy got a really nice deal. The box Ford is absolutely spotless. And then we were trying to figure out what the other one was. He said it's got a subframe in it and it's got leaf springs in the back, but it's a Ford, but it's not a Thunderbird so I don't know what it is.
Isn't that like an early 70s LTD? Like
that's what I was thinking, but
LTD?
I don't remember.
Not with leaf springs.
Yeah, I didn't know of any other than Thunderbirds or the real old ones.
I thought it was.
I'll tell you, Troy Tag will tell you what it is.
Was it like a Tornado or something?
I thought it was the next year Galaxy. Looked like
Hey, Jerry?
after
Hey, man, how are you?
65, it changed that body style like that. That's what it looked like to me.
It's got the long body style.
It's got the longer
long
front
and
end.
it looks like the
65, 66,
Galaxy.
67 Galaxy. Man.
yeah, something like that. It looks like
Has the stacked headlights on the front.
couldn't see the front, but it
looked like a lot of the cars that I've seen the Pattons drive down in Woodstock. Is the first thing I thought.
It looked like the 70 LTDs, how they're kind of long and boxy, you know what I mean, with the tin bumpers on the front. That's what it kind of looked like. That's what I thought it was at first. But
it looked like it looked like a Monaco-ish.
I think it's the next generation of Galaxy.
Yeah.
I think it is.
But it definitely wasn't.
It
you know
is,
what I mean?
isn't it? Right there.
Yeah, I would say so.
But I don't know about the side marker on the front fender. I don't know
Yeah,
if that's...
it's maybe 69.
maybe it's the Mercury version of the Galaxy, Mercury Monarch or something. I don't know.
I'm not that diehard of a Ford.
was the year they jumped from full frame to subframe.
Send it to Vermont. Somebody in Vermont will tell you what it is.
68 Montego, perhaps?
Could be.
No.
I don't know. That's Dan Bolton's guess. He's a Mopar guy. Don't listen to him.
Yeah, but he's bought and sold everything at one time. Or other, so.
Jeremy Hejduk joining us on the line to talk a little bit about Trumbull County coming up in Ohio on Saturday. They've gone the way of the team format, and it sounds like this show. There's a lot of traction for this one, Jeremy.
Hey, what's going on?
Can you hear me all right?
Yeah, I'm good. Can you hear me?
Yep, we can hear you fine.
Deal.
So this Trumbull County show, it's got a lot of traction. Coming on to chat a little bit about that. I mean, a couple county fairs. Now we're getting into the county fair season, doing some changes and some evolution in order to keep up the interest. And we see some of these features of the standalone shows now being applied to the county fair level. We figured this was going to come. You guys have been able to do it pretty successfully out there in Ohio for a little while with DerbyDogs. Tell us about Trumbull County and what we can expect Saturday.
Yeah, at the end of last year, we had a lot of guys. In the last couple of years, we went over to this more stock build format. You could still do your engine swap to your GMs and the Fords and stuff, but we went to that stock format. And then at the end of last year, a lot of guys were pursuing the interest of a team show. Because, you go to every one of these shows, and you always got the buddy system going on, and it's always an argument, whatever. So we decided, well, you know what, we'll go with the team format. A lot of guys asked for it. We started to pursue it, threw it up on social media to get the opinions, and it came back real positive. So we said, you know what, we're going to give it a chance. And, as you guys are into Derby and we're promoters and stuff, it's hard to explain it to a county fair to get them to change from that basic format they've run for the last 50 years. You know what I mean?
Mm-hmm.
Well, it took a lot of negotiating with the fairs to kind of decide to do it and put the money up, too. You know what I mean? I mean, you want to put a decent amount, and it's $4,000 to win. And, we figured the money was going to be the appeal as well as the team format plus the rules with that stock format. So, we kind of went 3 for 3 on that whole deal. And we didn't do it with the other 2 classes we got, compacts and trucks, but we figured with this full-size car class it would. And so far we got 9 teams signed up this morning. The show's this Sunday. And I know 3 more teams that aren't signed up. I talked to them today already. So it's looking like around that 12 mark of teams, and it's a 3-man team, so should make for a really good feature.
4 heats of 3 teams?
Actually, we're going to run 1 team versus another team, so we'll run 6
Head-to-head.
of 2-on-2. And then, if we get that odd-number team, I guess we'll decide that the day of the show, how we're going to pursue that. But, come feature time, it's whoever makes the feature in there.
Did you guys have a lot of negotiation to do with Livingston County? It seemed like the Caledonia Fair Board, Kenny, was into making the change and trying to figure out what they could do to improve it.
Yeah, they contacted me there this winter, and they wanted to figure what, they sat down and, it's a tough business. From what I find out now, that from the Fair Board themselves, that fairs they're struggling a little bit due to different liability and insurances and regulations with ride companies and all kinds of stuff, and so they evaluate a little bit what what is profiting the Fair Board, and they're going to take them events, and one was of course the Demolition Derby, and another was the Tractable, and they're going to keep them events going and how to build and make them events stay there and get bigger. And they've always been big about the Demolition Derby, and they if any of the fair boards, at least that I've had any chance to work with, they really want to be for the drivers, and
right.
They really want to reward them.
Is that your experience as well, Jeremy, with the folks at Trumbull County?
Yeah, it's that's I became a fair board director here at my home fair, and for all the fairs around us, that's always been the big moneymaker for the fairs is the Demolition Derby and entertainment in general. And you start to look around, and being a fair board director, you go to all these conventions, and to put on a concert is, it's a guaranteed loss for any county fair unless you're Mahoning County Fair and you've got that deep pocket or something like that. Yep. Some of these other fairs that, I don't want to say they're smaller, but their budgets aren't as big as some other fairs, so they're relying on the Demolition Derby. For years it's always been a moneymaker, and for us as promoters, we want to push that more purse money for our drivers because they follow us. So you got to find that happy medium with the fairs. You don't want to break the bank on them because they got to make money for the Demolition Derby. But unfortunately, we're smart enough as Derby drivers, promoters, and fans to know that you start counting seats in a grandstand and you know how much money they make. So the fairs are, like you said, they are willing to put more money and put that effort towards the drivers because they know that's their bread and butter. They know that's what's going to make them money at the end of the week of the fair. That's what made them the most amount of money. And motorsports in general is what's making them money, but the Demolition Derby has always been a leader in that for most fairs that I've ever dealt with.
Is that something that most fair boards are willing to accept in your experience? Look at Ben. Ben's quick saying no. Andy's saying no.
No.
Everybody's saying no.
Because it's generationally wise. You got the old school. You got the majority of these fair boards that I've been involved with.
They're older.
They're all
older
people,
individuals.
Older people that are. Their fairs were brought up and based on everybody was volunteering and volunteer their time, and that's the generation. That's the way the generations work. The generations now are everybody's time is worth something. So
Right.
And everybody's
And
busy.
everybody's in it for themselves now. I mean, like you just said, the fair boards used to be old farmers. That's what it was. You know what I mean? It was people that...
And a lot of them still are.
Same ones.
A lot of them that I used to deal with still are, and it's hard. It's like pulling their last two teeth out of their mouth,
and then
to get them to get the thought process like you're on, and that's what you're starting to get. You're starting to get the change of guard. You're starting to get, like, prime example up from Franklin County, up Malone. Joey St. Mary is now the younger generation coming in.
Referencing back to last week.
You know what I'm saying? That's jumped back. But just for example, for directors and everything else. And as the short time coming, and I think in the next 5 years, I'll say, there's going to be a vast majority of the fair boards and directors and everything else are going to be doing changing of the guards, because the majority of the ones that I've dealt with, they're all in their late 60s, 70s. A few of them they're in their 80s, you know, that are like, you know, I'm not getting out of my seat until you're putting me in the ground, you know, and this is the way it's going to be, and you're not going to change it. So it's.
I'll tell you what. Saturday I went on to Tioga County, their derby, and I saw something I've never seen at a derby before. Is that I can't remember if he was the fair board president. I believe he was. He actually came out and talked to the derby drivers, thanked them for coming out. You know, I really appreciate you guys coming, and you know, you pack the house for us every year, and I'd never seen that before. I was very impressed to see that, and that was, I mean, and a lot of the drivers that were standing there. I mean, like Brett was standing there. He said, "I've never seen that." I mean, Brett's run a couple county fairs. Josh made a comment that he hadn't seen that before. I mean, it was just a really great thing for him to do, and you know, hopefully they get some things fixed down there, and they can get a little bit of support and stuff. But that was cool to see.
Andy, when was the last time you talked to?
On our behalf, we as derby drivers should accept that too, because that does mean something to them. You know what I mean? I mean, it's got to go both ways. We've got to give our appreciation to these smaller county fairs and stuff. You know, I know a lot of the quote unquote professional derby drivers, they won't touch a little dinky county fair, but unfortunately, they need that. And when a fair does come out and they show their appreciation to you, it should mean something to us as derby drivers. You know.
I don't know. I kind of disagree with that whole professional derby drivers not touching their county fairs. A lot of these guys build their fresh cars for the derby calendar now between Labor Day and Memorial Day, and then whatever's left over. We hear a lot of these guys talk. I mean, look at Don Santel. He runs 14, 15 times a year.
Yeah, that's all Santel's been running. And Vic Whaley, Vic's run, I think, 3 shows since he's won Mayhem.
Prime example is Sciopa's.
Oh, yeah.
They took their Blizzard Bash and Bash for Cash cars, and they're running every other weekend.
In New Alex. Yeah.
Well, I think the main, even the bigger guys, the big names, I think they still run. They still have a hometown county fair, and if you're able to do it and do it, I mean, that's.
I think even if they're the professional derby driver, they still want to be able to drive their cars. They want to use that car up until it's time to scrap it and get rid of it. They want to make sure they get every last piece out of it, because they got some of them, instead of having $4,000 invested into it, they've got $25,000 invested into it.
I still truly believe they still want to go right down the road.
Oh yeah,
and run in front of their family and run for
absolutely.
We had that conversation last week.
Yeah.
Well, we had it when Vic was on. He talked. That's what he said. He said, "I'm running."
There's
I won
no
Mayhem
amount of money that you can pay out during county fair season. There's no amount of money that you can pay out to make somebody give up being a star in front of their family at their hometown show.
Right.
Yep. Yep.
Look at Andy Wolfanger, for example.
And I mean, that's the thing is, that's the thing is, the more people we talk to across the country, they all, pretty much everybody still runs a lot of the local stuff too. I mean, they might not run, 20 times a year anymore, but they still run. They'll take their UD cars and run some of the local UD shows, or they'll, their Derby Icon cars and run somewhere else. And
how many shows do you guys do through the course of the year now, Jeremy?
We have 14 shows, actually 16 shows this year. We had 8 last year. We got 16. We doubled it. 90% of them are all county fair shows. We do a couple small festivals. So, and on that note, I mean, we've had Toby and Zizzleman run quite a few of our shows, and those guys, I mean, they travel quite a ways to get there in general. So, I mean, you are right on that the professional guys, and that goes with DeFricia and Ciprin, those guys too. They come run all our shows too. So.
Yep. I mean, there's a whole group of them that are just out to Utah. They're going to go to Utah.
Oh yeah.
They're out scouting in Utah.
Speaking of Utah, Eric Taddy won something over the weekend, but I think
Yeah.
he ran. What did you run Utah with it?
I don't remember. I remember seeing the picture quick, but I don't. And it's saying winner chicken dinner, but I don't remember reading where he'd won.
I missed where he ran it.
Yeah, I think it was.
He's got some of those new Rhino cradles,
Mhm.
the Bolton ones. They're working out pretty nice for him.
Yeah.
We got some stuff coming out in the next magazine on that.
Yeah, he. A lot of guys have been.
To go
buying
back, Jeremy, there where you said that the drivers like to see the fair, get acknowledged from the fairs themselves, and that's what I think it's important too, for the drivers to acknowledge the fairs that are doing this for the drivers.
Mhm.
Willing to change for the drivers' needs, willing to offer a little more money, accommodate them here, accommodate them there as much as they can.
Right.
It's like a two-way street. The drivers got to support these shows that are trying to support these drivers, where some of them, there's some shows that refuse and have terrible things. Well, go support. There are shows that are fair boards and stuff that are trying to do it right, and there's shows that are fair, and those are the ones you support them. And then, believe it or not, what'll happen is when the other car counts die down, as you know as a promoter, I truly believe that they'll come on board with it
Right.
and realize.
Right.
And it's real easy. It's really easy for people to not compare apples to apples.
Mhm.
Oh,
You
yeah.
know, the different demographics in different areas you go to. Like you're gonna go out west. You start going out Indiana, Nebraska, Utah, where their arenas hold
10,000
6, 7,
people.
8,000 people. So sometimes even more. They're paying out outrageous purses.
Yeah.
And then people automatically assume, by watching on social media or actually traveling to them, coming back at their local fair, or local big fair, saying, well, I was just at this show. We had this many, they only had that many drivers, but they paid this much money.
Mhm.
10 grand to win
People
for
still
25
have
cars.
To,
It's
yeah,
crazy.
people still have to compare apples to apples.
Exactly.
And-
That
and-
goes
and-
back to
and
what you
understand.
said.
And understand. I mean,
Right.
there are. You're absolutely right. There are a lot of promoters that are trying to step up, or fairs and promoters trying to step up their game, and people have got to understand. Baby steps,
Yeah.
It's,
and that's the thing we've touched on it a million times. There's people that are definitely trying, and they're trying to help the drivers, which they got to do, but it takes a little time. I mean, the promoter and the fair board have to prove that they're in it together, and they have to prove that things are going to be done right by the drivers. I mean, unfortunately, you go to some county fairs, and you can tell who the promoter, and not just county. Certain promoters, you can tell who their favorites are. I mean, there's a promoter that goes all over the East Coast, and every town he goes to, he's got a favorite, and it's not hard to tell who that is depending on where you're at. So, it's definitely guys are making strides, and they're trying to make it better. And I mean, that's if people want the sport to progress in New York State, that's what it's going to take. I mean, there's some good builders and some good drivers, and there's definitely potential. But we got to support the ones that are supporting the drivers, and the inspecting crews and everything have got to be on board, and
Yeah, otherwise, you're not going to keep doing it.
Yeah, exactly.
They're going to be like, well, what the hell do we even do that for?
Yeah.
They're not.
you gotta-
So that, you're like Kenny said and Jeremy said, it's a two-way street. You gotta.
You both
Yeah,
gotta work
I'm
together.
wondering a little bit, coming into some information over the last couple of weeks here, and Ben, you can relate to this. It's better to be hated than ignored, right?
Yeah, pretty much. I'm pretty hated.
Because as long as you're hated, you're still being talked about. If you're ignored, there's no.
Exactly.
So I almost think
You're
that sometimes we've got some. There's these pockets where the show's not talked about, and it's kept hush hush because they don't want a lot of cars there, because then it's low hanging fruit, it's easy money, and that's hurting the fairs just as much as any of this other stuff. We've been to places where we don't even know who's in charge of the show because the fair board says it's their show. The person that's overseeing inspection is a promoter who says that it's their show. So we don't even know who we're supposed to be answering to in some of these situations. So it's certainly confusing. If it's confusing for us, I can't imagine what it's like trying to get an answer as a builder for some of the guys that are trying to support the shows.
That's the key thing too. Is you got to have you guys touched on it last week, and we touch on it a lot. Get it out there, advertise it, get it out there, get it, whether it's social media, whether it's radio, whether it's what, push it. Starting too early, there's never too early to start.
Oh yeah, for sure.
And second of all, is I call it respect. Be respectful and responsive and return people's calls or and get answers back quickly. Because I tell you what, that's the first thing that's going to kill somebody's show is somebody not, not to sound like a dick, but I still get phone calls for a promoter that I don't work for no more about rules. And it's like, 6 months later, I'm still getting phone calls on shows. What about this? What about that? Well, you got to contact these people. You got to contact them. Well, they won't answer their phone. We know you made the rules. We know you can tell us what to do or not do. Well, I can't, I can't do that anymore.
You're a better man than me. I'd say, yeah, go ahead and do it. That's what I do. That's the hell way to build it.
I'm not going to do that.
It's not a good decision.
I'm not going to be that. I'm not going to be that type of person. But that's.
I totally agree, though. That is that drivers want, and that shows them a lot of respect too towards a promoter. Either get them, they want a quick response, because if you don't give them a quick response, there's another show right down the road they'll go to.
Right. They'll make another phone call and they'll go somewhere else.
It takes a lot to be a good promoter. It really is. It's not an easy job. Jeremy, I'm sure you can vouch for it. It takes a lot. You can never make both sides happy. There is no happy medium. So you just gotta do what you think's best in your heart and stick to what you say.
It's not a 9-to-5 job.
No.
It's not a May to September job. It is a 365 year round,
24/7,
12 months a year.
24/7.
24/7.
Jamie just said 24/7.
How many texts and phone calls I have on my phone at 6 o'clock in the morning when I wake up that were overnight. We try to return everybody's phone calls. We try to be courteous to everyone and get back to them. And we have a dinky little schedule. I can't imagine what Tim Clark goes through having as many as he does. But these guys want to call at 11:30 at night when you're zonked out on a couch, and they want to. And furthermore, they want to discuss the rule. They're asking you about a rule, which is okay, and you get to the point. But just like you and I are all BSing right here, then they want to go into the dissertation about, well, back in '94, I ran this derby and I ran these tires, and they were the bomb, and I want to make sure I can run them. They want to ask you about the rules, but then they want to tell you their whole life story about derby, that's no problem. But when you get 10 or 12 people a day that want to call you and tell you those stories, I'm all about talking derby stories, but I got to get to the next guy's phone call. You know what I mean?
Right.
Absolutely.
That's one of those things. Like Ben hit on something, but he wasn't completely honest about it. Now, if Ben sends a promoter a question at 11 o'clock at night and he doesn't get a message back within 5 minutes, he's just going to do what he wants to do.
It's been a while since Ben's been building at 11 o'clock.
No. Yeah. Yeah. No. I've adapted the Ohio rule.
There you go.
Ohio style. Yep.
Overbuild and cut.
Yep.
I think I might have to follow that myself.
But no, I mean,
you need to eat a car first.
And that's another thing. Everything's a two-way
Always
street.
next year.
I mean, everybody needs to understand. Obviously, you're not going to get a phone call back at 1 o'clock in the morning. Unless you work night shift or graveyard shift.
Yeah.
But
I message everybody back at 1 in the morning.
It all comes of.
That's because you don't sleep.
Giving. Give. Whatever you want to call it.
This weekend I was talking with a guy, and he was telling me that he called the fair, it was a fair to ask about rules, and no one had a set of rules printed out. They didn't know where they could get a set of rules printed out. They didn't know where they could get rules. It was just kind of a revolving. And I'm like, how can you try to put on a derby if you don't have rules wrote down and you can't get a set of rules?
I wish I was here last week. Don't even get me going on that right now.
There's a lot of. It's scary though. There's a lot of shows like that.
Oh, I know.
They really are. They run fly by the night.
Jamie, where can people find out more about your schedule, where you're going next after Trumbull, find out the different rules for the divisions and things like that for Derby Dogs?
Yeah, if you go to www.DerbyDog-productions.com, it's got our whole schedule on there. There's a mobile site. There's a desktop site you can go to. Either one has the rules and the schedule on there. After Trumbull, we go to Carroll County Fair in Carrollton, where Schumann used to promote.
Mm-hmm.
And we go to Clarion County Fair, which is closer to you guys than Trumbull is, but
Yep.
And it just goes on from there. The month of August and September, we've got one once a week, twice a week, I think.
That's Clarion, Ohio, or Clarion, Pennsylvania?
Clarion, Pennsylvania. Clarion
Yes.
County Fair.
Yeah, we were there last year.
Drove right by it this
Yeah, you
weekend.
guys were there last year. Yeah.
Yep, that was the extra shifter show. Remember?
Was I there for that one? No.
Now I don't remember. It was when Rick Clark and Mike DeFrieschi got stuck and he pulled the extra shifter out from under his seat and tried to pry the bumper off. That was at Clarion.
No, I missed that one. That was one of the last ones of the year we did.
Yeah, that was one of the last ones of the year, right at the end of July.
Yeah.
It wasn't even close to the end of the year. I wish it was, man. We had another 12 derbies after
I
that.
don't remember that one. What do I wasn't
We
there?
talked about this on the show.
No.
where you
Yeah, but I don't remember why I don't go. Why I didn't go. It's only a year ago, I guess.
Can't remember everything
No.
specifically day to day from last week, can you?
Usually.
Jeremy, man, I hope everything turns out well. Now, this was the show that was supposed to be. This was supposed to be the showdown between Pete Hansen and Chris Förster at this show.
Yeah, this is the one when Chris called a couple months ago and called Pete out on. This is the show.
That's awesome. So is Förster still bringing a car over?
Yeah, he's got one.
Yeah,
I saw that.
Firster's got a car built for it. He's coming. I don't know if Pete Hansen does or not, but I know Förster does.
No,
Oh, I know Pete's got a couple cars built.
Yeah, there's a couple cars built.
I don't know if they'd make it through your inspection or not, but there's a couple nasty cars built.
Well, man, I wish you the best this weekend. Hope everything goes well. Hope those other teams turn out and you have a good, safe show.
Yeah, I appreciate it, Chris. Thanks for having us on the show and putting us on here. We appreciate it.
For sure. If keep in touch as the summer goes on.
All right, cool. Thanks, guys. Have a good day.
Thanks,
too.
Jeremy. We'll see you later.
It was funny. He mentioned
Jeremy Hejduk from DerbyDog's
he mentioned
production.
Tim with all the shows I have, and I was actually texting with Tim last week, and I said, "How's your season going?" He goes, "Oh, not bad yet." He said, "I think he said they only had 2 or 3 shows since Bash." I said, "I thought you were getting ready to getting close to the 4 shows a week thing." He goes, "Oh yeah, we are. It starts next weekend." So then we're going to get busy. But I think he said actually this weekend they do their hometown fair, and then it gets crazy from there. So
Yeah, it gets out of control in a
Yeah,
hurry.
they showed the picture online there of the 28-foot enclosed trailer. It only had half that was loaded full
Yeah.
from end to end, and it was only half the show's trophies
yeah,
for the year.
Wow. That's a lot of trophies.
Yeah,
yeah,
yeah.
Yeah. Pretty nasty. 40-some shows.
Yep.
I don't even like the trophies anymore. I just give them away. I really have the big check.
The novelty check.
Yeah.
Yeah, the oversized check. Those are cool.
They
Happy
are.
Gilmore checks.
I was going to make a couple for Josh that said bash for cash. That way we can hang them all up in his garage and feel like a winner. But since we're not speaking right now, it's not going to happen.
Uh-huh. I'm sure maybe next Monday you guys will be speaking.
Maybe. We'll see.
I don't know if he's going to come up after
I
he
was
wins
cool
the-
enough for him to
It
return
depends
my
how he
text
goes
message.
Saturday.
Yeah, if he wins the junk route, I'm sure he'll come up.
You want to know? I'll read you the last text message that I sent to Josh Decker. I
Uh-oh.
said, "You are the biggest name in Demolition Derby that's done nothing. I can't believe you're making me wait. I made you."
You sent that to Josh or you sent that to you?
No, I sent it to Josh.
Oh, all right. That's cool. That's
I
terrific.
sent a ha 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 after it, but I haven't heard anything back yet.
He's busy, man. He's selling. He's got
Yes,
to,
he is. He's selling everything at his house.
he is. He's working for the company, too. He, had the boss with him last week, and
That's right, I forgot about that.
Josh showed
He
him
was
the-
trying to get up here early and ended up 2 hours behind the schedule because his boss was riding with me and he showed him all the places he went. And actually,
No getting out of work early. That's
nope.
how he was making the money he was for the. But yeah,
How
it
many
was-
cars is he actually going to run on Saturday?
I don't know how many
I've-
he's gonna. He talked
I've
about
heard
having
one,
a couple.
then I've heard three, then two.
I know he told me he's got to button up his truck. That was he told me that Saturday.
Because he's got Anthony's truck.
Anthony.
He's got Joe's got a car, I think.
I thought Joe had a truck.
Maybe Joe has a truck.
I thought they all had trucks.
and then Jerry
then-
has a truck. Josh has a truck. They've got,
I think there's 5 coming out of that shop.
and
or
I think
6.
there's a full size car coming. And then he's got, I don't know what he's got plans. It changes daily.
Well, you being his PP or publicist, you ought to know.
He stood me up. We had an appearance at the IGA in Seneca Falls,
He didn't come up.
and he didn't make it because he was too busy with his boss.
He's waiting for the casino to open.
Yeah, I bet he is.
You know what? Have you? When are we going to break the news about having that derby out there next year? Or we were not supposed to talk about that yet? Or
What?
All right, I just wondered. I didn't know.
I don't know what you're talking about.
All right, we'll talk about it later. I guess.
Don't know what you're talking about at all.
All right.
At
cool.
all.
I mean, I think it's great that you're stepping up to promote again.
I don't know what you're talking about. You have lost your mind.
He's all right if he goes in by himself. But if he has a dickhead with him that overturns him halfway through, then he's no good.
Yeah.
And that's Ben.
Now, is this going to be on asphalt, or are they building someplace special for you to run
Depends
it?
on how fast they get the parking lot paved.
All right. I was just wondering.
It depends on if the federal money, or if the state money gets held up and production gets delayed.
Yeah. Only get $75,000 out of $3.7 million or whatever it is.
Yeah. Turns out it's enough money to just move a lot of dirt around.
It is.
Interesting.
$75,000. I'd move a lot of dirt.
Yeah, but you won't build a racetrack.
Yeah. Build derby arena.
Yes. Easy.
Do you guys know what you guys are doing for after the show when you guys are there? Are you guys going to stay or?
I don't have to work the next day. I don't know what we're going to do. Whatever Josh says, because if Chris isn't there, Josh is in charge. So whatever Josh says,
That's
that's
not
what
too
we're
bad a
doing.
drive for you, though.
No, it's
Versus
it's
Josh and
very
them
easy.
guys.
I think Josh and them are staying, I think.
I'm not sure.
Well, Jeremy
I think Gully. I think you said Gully's.
contacted me.
Yeah,
and,
about-
he asked about some close cities, and I think Genesee would be the best one for him because he can get ready to get on four-way then.
Yeah.
Yeah. They also have They have camping sites, right?
Yeah, there's going to be camping available there.
Yeah, you just posted the other day a whole
Yeah.
list of different hotels and different places people can
And
stay.
which reminds me, because the show, the full-size demo starts at 4. The Facebook page says 5. Just wanted to clarify.
The full-size demo starts
Yes,
at 4.
the Power Wheels are going to kick off at 3, and then they'll run. Time we get done with them, I figure an hour or so if we get them awarded their prizes and stuff. So around 4 o'clock, we'll be going on there. They do have a car show. It's going to be there at 1 o'clock. So from 1 o'clock on, when the stands open at 1, there's something to do at the show. So
Terry Hackathorn's running the Trumbull County Fair. He just sent a picture in. Terry Hackathorn's a pretty good dude out there in Ohio, so that's his hometown fair, Trumbull County.
I think Mad Mike's. I think his crew's been doing some derbying this year. I think they got maybe a second and a third somewhere here a week or two ago.
Yep.
Mike got a second maybe.
I think they got some team show coming up this week.
They were talking about running Trumbull County, but they've pulled out of that because I think he's getting married next weekend.
Mike is?
I think so.
Good for him.
I think that's what day it was. I don't remember for sure.
What time is the inspection going to open, Ken?
Inspection will be open at 11.
11.
And the
Okay.
show starts when?
For
Action starts at 3, you said, right? 3 o'clock?
3
with
o'clock, Power Wheels
Power
kick
Wheels.
off.
So
Yeah.
your target time will be somewhere around 3 o'clock.
Whose target time? Are you
Your
looking at me?
target time. You and
Oh,
him.
Ben and I? Guess we had to figure out who's doing what then, huh?
Yep.
What time we're leaving?
Should.
Yeah. We're also going to try something different. I think Bath did it this year. They're going to try to
Same thing Bash did. for
yeah,
about-
with the time.
with the time for the Mad Dog in the 80s heat.
Oh,
We're going to try to do it. Bath did it, but they let it too long. And so most of the cars weren't
Yeah.
down enough to pick a
Yeah, Mad Dog.
Just don't tell them how much time it's going to be.
Right.
That would be my suggestion.
Yeah.
You tell them you
Right.
you
We're going to
you
come up
tell-
with an appropriate time,
Yeah.
and we'll pick a Mad Dog out of it. And he gets the automatically, he can shut off his car, pull it at the corner,
Mhm.
and he automatically goes to feature. Just I like how Tim did that out there. I think that's a very neat way to do it.
Did
because
Tim leave the cars on the track, or did he
Yep.
put them off the track?
nope.
Left them
I
I think that's a great
think they
idea
left
he
all
came
on.
up with, and because a Mad Dog, you can give a
They
Mad
did that
Dog
at
at the end of the
Crossroads,
heat,
too.
but he and say
He's
he goes to
already used
feature,
his
but his
car.
car's done.
Yeah.
It's
yeah.
all done.
Yeah.
I think a guy goes out there, he sets the pace of the heat, he should be rewarded.
Oh, yeah.
Plus, we want to see him in the feature. We'll see what he's got.
You want to see him in the future doing the same thing.
Yes.
Right.
Because
Absolutely.
it takes away the
Keeping people
The
on.
sandbag.
takes away the driving Miss Daisy. I mean,
Mhm.
that's it's that you definitely, we've talked about it time and time and time again. You have to have that mix of drivers. You have to have the hardcore guys that just want to stand on it to make. Because
Really
it's,
do.
it's a show.
It makes the show for
It-
the people
yeah,
in the
it's
grandstands.
It's a
Yes.
show. I
It's a
mean,
show for the people, not
It's a show for the
you know.
people. It's showing the
You know.
stands, and like we talked earlier, you fill the stands. You put the seats in the stands that directly
Mhm.
dominoes down to the drivers and to the,
Right.
So
Absolutely.
The
A lot of
more that
people-
stands filled, that's where the money comes from
Right,
for
right.
the fairs or the promoter.
Mhm.
It really comes from the grandstands to keep them to involve, to make the show bigger, to
Right.
make them successful. So that's why I say it's you'll never being a promoter. There's no happy medium. You got to make the driver happy. But some drivers don't realize you got to have a show too.
Yeah.
Without these people in the grandstands, I got no show. Well, they say without drivers, you got no show, but that is absolutely true too. So, but like you said, two-way street. You both got to give respect both ways towards each other.
100 laps no matter what.
Yeah.
That's what happens to make it.
And
to
I
make
mean,
it work,
that's the
to
thing,
work
though.
out.
I think that's, like you guys said, it's a great idea because, I mean, we've all seen, I might have done it once or twice where you use a car up at half heat and then, you don't have anything left for the feature. But I mean, if guys stop it after a few minutes or however long and, let them go to the feature, I mean, it generally speeds things up. So I definitely think it's a great idea.
When we were at Crossroads of Destruction earlier this year, Matt Ertman was booed a lot when he red flagged the heat and put Jeremy Elliott, I think it was Jeremy Elliott, off to the side because Jeremy was going end to end, and if he hit anything else, he was going to be hitting with his oil pan. And they wanted him in,
In the feature,
he earned a feature spot for that, and the crowd booed him because they didn't understand
what he was doing,
what they were seeing. They thought
Well,
they black
that's
flagged him for
Yeah,
something
once
dirty. So that
Tim
was
and Russ had made the announcement. It had been so that people kind of knew.
That's
but
what
I
we
mean,
got to do.
Yeah, let the
Saturday is
fans know. And,
know what's going on, so they understand that.
Yep.
mental notes.
And
'Cause
I think
you're patching to the
I
PA,
think
you're explaining
more
what's
will
going on.
accept that idea than,
Oh,
than
absolutely.
hate it because they all like to see the big hits and everything else.
I'm still trying to figure out how I can win that raffle card.
Here, hold my flag.
Use an assumed name. It's easy.
Jeez.
Yeah.
Absolutely.
Well, golf show is coming in after us. Appreciate you guys coming up and hanging out with us for a little while. I got an email from the Holiday Inn the other day just asking how everything's going, reminding us that we have New Year's Eve coming up and asking how things were going. I said, it's not August yet. I'll talk to you in October. But I thought that was nice of them to remember Crash Course and make sure that everything was still progressing the way that we wanted to. So that's
Well,
on
it's
the radar.
because once the open bar closed, they made out pretty well.
This year, the open bar stays open an extra hour because New Year's Eve falls on a Saturday.
Nice.
If they don't shut down at 1, they'll shut down at 2.
Is it inappropriate for me to bring that big mug back so I don't have to go back to the bar quite as much?
Nope.
All right, just checking.
Not a problem.
All
Not. I don't know you. Not a problem. Not
I
an
don't
issue.
know you.
Wouldn't be the first time somebody's told me that. That's all good.
Yep. I don't know how you got in, but security, go ahead and let him stay because he looks like a big guy. So, again, wish you the best this weekend. Wish we could be there.
Well, we're going to be. Wish you
Yeah,
could
we're
be
all
there.
gonna be there.
Yeah, we're going to be there.
You're not going to be there.
I said
Yeah.
I wish I could be there.
You said wish we.
Oh. Well, I always speak in the we.
Oh,
Come on.
come on, Chris.
Come on.
Can I wear your hat just for good luck?
No.
Come on.
No.
I got a hat for you.
Okay.
You got that Outer Banks hat?
No.
Probably the big one with the floppy things and the floppy. It'll be a little warm. I'll shave before I come so I don't have quite as much stuff
Yeah,
on
I got
top.
the Wiz Khalifa hat.
It's all good in the hood.
You're making me more and more nervous.
We'll break out the glow sticks.
Yeah.
Well,
Maybe I'll
Dow to feel right at home.
maybe I'll
Like
get some of,
literally Monday. Wish you were there.
maybe I'll get some of them glasses from like 1986 where like one's
With
a
the
triangle
dollars.
and one's a
With the
circle.
dollars.
Yeah,
No, with
there
the
you go.
dollars.
The
With
dollar bills?
Yeah.
Dow's bringing those, I think.
Dow's bringing those?
Yeah, he'll have those.
Good luck with your show. We're out of here. No, but seriously, wish. I hope everything goes off well. Hope everything goes off safely.
I want to see video of you dancing at the reception. That's what I want to see.
I will do everything I can to make that happen for you.
All right.
My cousins are very good.
Would you say you're marrying your cousin?
No, that's not what I said. I'm already married. It's not my cousin. No, my cousins have very good taste in music.
Are you
And,
far away from where we're going to be?
I will be about 45 minutes southeast of Norwich in a town called Gilbertsville.
Jesus, you're gone. That's
Yeah,
There's no getting you back that day.
not
set.
happening.
yeah, we're good.
We're set.
So I'm concerned when you started asking questions about what's going on after. All you have to do is put all the equipment away, and you can do whatever you want. Just put everything away, shut everything off, put it away, do whatever you
I
want.
got great,
So the biggest
I
thing
got
that the
great
Fair
big
Board-
Rubbermaid totes at home.
Wants to just make sure is that one of you guys, or however you got it set up, somebody announces to the actual general grandstands.
Yep. We
can
have
do that.
a board that will. We have a cord that'll plug into the board that'll
That's
plug
all
into
because
there.
they don't understand it. You know, they're not saying. They just don't understand this aspect.
This is
Oh,
the
yeah,
same
They
thing.
think you guys are just going to talk on it, and
nobody's gonna
nobody's
hear
going to
Yeah.
hear it.
Well,
No.
the announcer that you've had there before has announced out of that booth, correct?
Yes,
And
that has all the capabilities I think you need.
all we need is one place to plug in the RCA cable, the
We're
XLR
golden.
cable. That's all.
That's the only worry they have,
Yep.
and I've insured them.
Oh, yeah,
You've got
no
it
problem.
taken care of.
And if not, we got guys there that can figure it out. I'm not worried about it. We've told them,
everything will be good.
told them a couple times. All we need to do is have one place to plug in the output from the board into their system. Everything should be fine. We've done it before and had good luck.
Now we'll send Josh across on that side with a megaphone.
Which he would be able to do just fine with that.
I've seen him do that before.
Remember when he stood on the blocks with it and cupped his hands and just yelled? I don't remember what show we were at.
Wasn't that at Coos?
Yeah.
Was
I
it
think
there?
it was.
I think
might
it was
have
at
been.
Coos.
It was cool because
The first Coos, because the speakers weren't working on that side of the track.
Yep.
So he was trying to relay messages with his
It
squeaky
worked.
little voice.
He did all right.
Chris, what do you think?
I think
Stick
we're
a
done.
fork in it?
Yep. We've covered all our
You
bases.
don't want me to go on a tangent.
I think
Nope.
we're going to have a
Down there.
shitload of compacts.
Yes.
Good compact guys. I mean, there's some compact guys coming that it's a compact show.
Good.
But
That's
I think
awesome.
there's going to be. I have this in my mind. I think there's going to be some big cars show up that aren't saying anything, that are coming from certain places,
Good.
that are going to turn that speed up. Like I think Jimmy Biggs is coming.
Stop talking.
He usually turns it up pretty good.
I got the rest of the list behind him.
Unless he blows the transmission.
Yeah. Well,
Yeah.
that I had a vibe. There was from that area. There's some guys coming,
Sounds.
which is good because there's a lot of good hard drivers from that area.
All I'm saying is orange and black. Keep your eyes open. You'll know that they were there. That is going to do it for this edition of the Crash Course, episode number 139. We'll see you right back here
Crash Course
again next week.
podcast is brought to you in part by DerbyParts.com. The 2015 Wadena Grand Slam. Boat Lockwood Motorsports and the 2015 Keystone National. Scioppa Racing and ScioppaRacing.com. Ultimate Derby and Blizzard Bash 2015. Demo Derby Master. Reckless Abandon Derby apparel at RecklessAbandonGear.com. And Derby Inc. magazine. Live it, breathe it, be it, Derby Inc. This is the Crash Course Demolition Derby podcast, recorded live at the FingerLinks1.com studios in downtown Seneca Falls, New York.